Hi everyone, this is Scott from Deer Park. I thought I'd take a few moments today to review the features of our Crosley vinyl rocket and our Marshall CD rocket. We have multiple rocket models available. The Crosley vinyl rocket is available in 3 different finishes: oak, this new turquoise color, as well as black. The Marshall Jukebox is also available in vinyl. And the Crosley Jukebox, the Crosley Rocket, is also available in a CD version. So I'll talk about in depth some of the features of both of these jukeboxes. First, they have a shared cabinet. Probably 80% of these share the same parts: same amplifier, same cabinet, same glass, same metal. It's all metal construction, chrome. It's basically built for commercial use for your home. And if you come in on the vinyl rocket, I'll talk about the mechanism and what it holds, as well as go into the title strips here in just a minute. The mechanism itself has room for 70 records. It plays an A and B side, so you get 140 total songs, and that's in addition to a Bluetooth connection that allows you to pair any sort of phone or anything like that. In terms of making a selection, you would actually make the selection off this rotating drum that allows us to fit all of those titles, all 140 titles, with a single title strip. Now, if you come over to the Marshall unit, the trim is a little bit different. The trim itself, you're going to see that the title strips look a little bit differently, and also it has a CD mechanism as opposed to the vinyl mechanism. The CD mechanism is loaded so that all of your CDs stack from number 1 to number 80 in order, and they're selected by first selecting a CD number, in this case 100, and then the title, or the track number of each of those CDs. So when you select on a Marshall, you actually select by pressing these buttons, and that, if this were a Crosley CD unit, the buttons would look much more like what you have here on the Crosley vinyl rocket. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into each of these mechanisms. So join me at the turquoise rocket in just a sec. I want to take a couple of minutes and talk in depth about the features of the vinyl rockets. The first is that you have an access panel that allows you to select any of those 140 selections. So you have 70 A sides and 70 B sides. If you see, there's numbers corresponding to each of these buttons, and if you wanted to select a certain title, you would just hit that title in terms of the number. There's also a clear if you make a mistake halfway through, and then you can advance the drum with the title strips, and you see 1/3 of the titles available each of those times. Now, if I open the cabinet, cabinet will stay open, and I want to demonstrate for you what the mechanism does when you go ahead and select a song. We're going to select an A side, and you're going to notice that the stylus is capable of playing both an A side and a B side. And the first song will be an A side, and it will be song 130. You see the drum rotating. It's now searching for that track. That track is cued, and then it plays. Okay, now at the end of each track, the jukebox will go ahead and eject, and we will clear this track now. And since I didn't make another selection, it's going to go into a rest mode. Now, I'll also make a selection for a B side. In this case, we're going to select a B side that's number 240 5. And that B side will now tee up, and you'll see that the stylus is on the other side. While you're in playback mode, you have the ability to see the number and correspond it to the title strip. I want to take a minute and talk about the vinyl title strips. The rotating drum gives you all 140 selections. What you would do is, let's suppose that you have a John Cougar Mellencamp 45 that you would like to put into the jukebox. You insert the title strip into selection 130. Now, Rain on the Scarecrow is now selection 130, and Pretty Ballerina is the B-side at 230. I would come over here, I would select 230 if I wanted to hear the B-side, or 130, and you can change your music and the title strips as you need. And each of these rotating drums has 1/3 of the selections available. And as you're loading your jukebox, you can line up your 45s, and with the enclosed software, print in just about any format you'd like or color any title strip that you have of a 45 that you intend to buy or that you already own. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about the operation of the CD mechanism, as well as show how the title strips work in conjunction with the CDs and how they're loaded. Now, this is a Marshall CD unit. The only real differences are the trim and finishes from a Crosley CD unit. So whatever I tell you here in terms of this mechanism operation, as well as the title strips, applies to any CD Rocket jukebox. So take a look. You have a full row of title strips, and these title strips are manipulated and moved through these buttons. Now, these buttons allow you to view what's on a CD, and typically a CD would have anywhere between 10 and 25 tracks. This CD, we only have a few CDs loaded, maybe 5 or 6, but this CD mechanism itself will hold up to 80 of your CDs. Now, that's in addition to what other Bluetooth connectivity you would have that you could play automatically through the jukebox as well. So I'll go in depth in terms of this CD mechanism, in terms of how it works, and show you what to expect when selecting a CD. You'd note earlier that there were some numbers here, and what I'd like to do is I'm going to play the first CD, CD 100, and I'm going to play the first track off the first CD, and that would be CD 100, and the first track is 01. Now it's queuing up the CD, and the CD is spinning. It's indexing it to know how many tracks are on there. It'll find the track that we selected, and now it'll play the track that we selected, and it'll note the number of the track. So right here, we have the track and the CD number. Now I'm going to cancel the track. When the track gets canceled, the mechanism automatically picks up the CD and redeposits it in the same place in the rack that it was earlier. Now, if I would want to put in a new title strip, right now it's on set up for CDs, and these are printed with the software that's included. And the software actually allows you to print on perforated sheets that also come with your jukebox. And the perforated sheets tear off, and you can use each of these to create a title strip. If this CD was in section 102, you would just load it as such, and you now have a CD a full reference of what you've loaded into CD 104. And the software is smart in that if you type the name of an artist and the name of a CD, it'll usually automatically populate so that you don't have to type all of these in. And title strips only have to be installed once. Once they're installed, you have that reference for whatever is loaded into the rack of the jukebox. I'd like to talk about the back of the jukebox, give you an idea about some of the components that make up the innards. Panels easily removed for any service work or anything that you might need. I'll start with the D4 digital amplifier. You have a microphone in. You also have the various inputs. This is for the Bluetooth input as well as the output to the speakers. And you also have a phono out. It is possible to hook in additional speakers with these speaker clips and configure the amplifier for both bass, mid-range, treble, as well as balancing between the 4 channels. It's 240 watts total, 60 watts per channel. You can do 2-channel or 4-channel. The Bluetooth is integrated completely into the brains of the jukebox. The brains of the jukebox are hooked up so that everything is a serial connection, everything is a cable, no soldering, no electronics, know-how needed if any service or anything is required. And then the power supply converts 120 volts to the low voltage that's throughout the unit. This is the mechanism for the 7045 records, and over here you'll see that this is the coin mechanism, and this is the same for both the CD as well as the vinyl. All of these components are shared within the CD and vinyl versions. Hopefully this overview has helped. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us at the email address on our website, www.deerparkdist.com or modernjukeboxes.com.